Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be tearing down our engine and our transmission in the all-motor drag car. But before I take it out, we know the engine is hurt. This thing has been down so much mile per hour. I've lost over 10 mile an hour from the previous engine. Remember, this was just a dropout, so it came just from the dealer, just came out of a car because something was wrong. It seemed okay, it had decent compression, and then we started losing it. So what I'm doing now is just trying to figure out where the issues are. So I'm doing a leak down test. I found one very bad cylinder. I'll show you that in a second. But right now we're on cylinder 4. Right now in the exhaust on cylinder 4, you can hear how much air is escaping. And that's with 100 PSI in there. So now I'm gonna take you to number 2, which seems like there's a bent intake valve. See how loud that is? The air compressor is going to kick on. It's so much air being lost. Number 2 is done. You're done. We got to fix that. What I'm doing right now, guys, is prepping my strut tower to accept a camber plate. Now, I got these camber plates a little while ago. These are meant for you to cut the top of your strut tower off. I want you to cut this totally off and mount it on top. I just don't like the idea of that. One, it's ugly. Like, yeah, it's a nice piece of billet, but I don't want that in my engine bay. So my plan is, no matter what, you have to drill the same 4 holes. So I cleaned off all of the insulation seam sealer around here with just a wire brush, and then this plate actually fits really perfectly, like dead in the OEM mount. Like, it has a little tiny bit of slop, but it's pretty perfect. And then all I have to do is ensure that it's only for camber. It's only going to go in and out. And then I loosen the bolts to make sure that I have full throw of it. So with full throw, I know it can be adjusted properly. So all I have to do is throw this up in there, mark a couple holes, and start drilling. The only thing that I think could possibly be an issue, the height. Because by putting this underneath of the strut tower, you're basically taking that chunk, which is like maybe a 1/2 inch. You're taking that chunk and moving the strut down, and then also where the strut would be was probably another 1/2 inch up. So it's basically like an inch of strut that's going to be down. And I think the best way to fix that would be to buy the coilovers, like a BC Racing set, where you can actually set the preload of your strut and spring, and then you can just crack loose the bottom and you can run the strut in. So that's probably going to be the fix, but right now I'm just going to run these, and if there's anything weird, I'll get a better set of coilovers. So I'm just going to get ready, mark those, drill it, bolt it in, and we should be good to go. I took the pillow ball mount out, and then I found one of the transfer punches that fit really snug in there. Found a socket, just put the transfer punch in it, and then as we were up there, had her hit that one, and then that one around like that. Now I'm just gonna go up there and drill the holes. I have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, I'm gonna probably have to run to the store and grab some hardware, because this didn't come with any. So we just gotta go get some stuff and make it work, make it nice. Got all the holes drilled out, and then I just put some undercoating around it since I took that seam sealer off. Just regular undercoating should be fine. And now one note is that the little emblem faces the front of the car, and then these pillow ball mounts, there's like a round section and then a flat section. The flat section is meant to go in because then you can get max travel. You know, you can get max adjustability. Looking at it like this, front, outside, so this is the driver front camber plate. And then that way you'll be able to go max in and get all the camber. You could obviously reverse it if you needed it the other way. There's a spacer that goes underneath, so it comes underneath, goes in this pillow ball, and then This nut goes on top through and screws onto your coilover. Nice and easy. One thing I did do was add some grease in the little pockets here, just because you don't really want this stuff to get rusty. So I'll just put a little bit of grease around. It'll be fine. That'll be bolted up, and then I'll be able to go about that far. All right, bolt it together, get it in the car, show you guys in a minute. Doing it this way, you still have the ability to reverse it if you care to, rather than cut all this stuff off. And I think it looks pretty good. You still have plenty of range of motion. You can get to all these bolts no problem. So I see nothing wrong with doing it this way. I'm just gonna button this back up and move on to the next project. I went through and I'm starting to pull all the valves. I pulled all of the front intake valves and exhaust valves. I did find one exhaust valve was bent. I had one on the shelf, put it in, should be fine. I got a ton of this to do. I'm trying to, this video, I'm trying to just make getting through this and getting the head back together. There were some spots on the head gasket that looked like they were possibly leaking. It's just what happens with these motors. So I'm not gonna deck the head. What I am going to do, I'm gonna straight edge it. If it's not crazy, I'm just gonna take my flat body block, put some 320 on it, scuff it down, get all this grimy stuff off, and just make it nice and clean and even. And I'm gonna pressure wash this whole head, and then we'll just put it back together. So guys, I just got the head back from the machine shop. And we're gonna start putting it back together and just throwing the valves in and stuff like that. But another thing I wanted to show you guys, I did make a video on it because I didn't really think it needed a video. I did already get some Lexan. You can see I got a big sheet of it over there. And basically what you do is on the inside, you cut a strip out, you paint it black on the one side, and then what I did differently this time, instead of riveting it in, we put it back in the original quarter glass seal. So hopefully this works. Hopefully nothing flies out while I'm going down the track. It shouldn't, because I do have some exit holes for pressure relief down there. I also, this is the big thing, this is now Lexan. So the original glass is up there. Total, with all the side glass and all that stuff, this should be about 35 pounds out of the car now. I have a deadline in my mind. I'm really trying to make Street Wars. It's getting tough. I got all the brake stuff done. I gotta hang the doors again. I'm still messing on the wiring harness stuff, because, so you'll see later in this video that we are actually getting rid of the cam gears. Now, they served their purpose, but I think we're losing a lot of mid-range power, and we need it. Last year was a pain with this motor. So I found that all the exhaust valves were leaking, and I relapped everything in. Everything should be good. But now we're gonna be adding back in intake and exhaust VVT. I've been watching a lot of videos. Before, this is something no one wanted to mess with, no one wanted to touch. Now people are actually getting into this stuff, making power. So this is gonna be the biggest change. So we're gonna go in with a new freshened head. And one thing I did want to show you guys, the engine could have been out of time all last year. So if you check on these cam phasers, the original, there is no timing mark on the gear itself. The phaser right here, that actually has the timing mark. So because of that, I had thrown away the front phasers. I really never knew where TDC was. I just eyeballed it. Sounds dumb, but You live and you learn. So now we have these two gears. We'll be able to actually make sure it's in time. I am gonna cut off some teeth. I'll show you guys that later. But so all that's coming together. I did also get a gigantic fuel pump. So we're gonna be trying that out. It's very hectic right now, so I'm trying to get this cylinder head back together. I gotta do all the valve seals and stuff like that. I'm gonna get it back together. Then we're gonna clean up the engine block. I still have to go through and pull out this oil pump drive, and I'm gonna see if I can shim it. And I'm also gonna be adding back in the windage tray. I think that's something else that's gonna help make power, because think of it like this. You have the crankshaft up here, and the crankshaft's always moving. Then you get the windage tray, which keeps oil down, and it keeps it from coming up and frothing up and hitting the crank. So when that's gone, you're gonna be hitting and frothing the crank and potentially losing some power. We're gonna go back to that. I just have to get it out of that motor that's sitting over there. It's just, like I said, it's a lot of stuff. We're trying to get this thing done. Hopefully you guys watched the old videos. Go back and watch some more, put them on repeat. That way I can get some more YouTube money. If you guys buy anything from me, car parts wise, if you bring your car here to work on, pretty much all of it goes right back into the car. Keep that in mind. I'll get back to it and come get you guys when something's happening. I've been cranking away at this. I just don't see this being possible to get this done in one episode. I stayed up a while. I'm trying to get stuff done, but yeah, I don't see this being in one episode, guys. So I think this is where I'm going to leave off with it. We got the engine back in. I have the wiring harness totally out of the car, and I have gone through it, and I'll show a tidbit of that next time. I'm not going to show you building a harness or nothing like that. This is just adding in VVT. So I need to run, I already have one VVT plug. I need to add another one, and I need to add a cam sensor here. That way we can get that stuff all working. Then on top of that, I have since switched back. I had that that combo pressure temp sensor, and I thought it was, I just didn't like it. So what I decided to do with this billet housing is I bought a GM temperature sensor, so that just screws in. There's already settings in the fuel tech for that, and then I went back to my WHP, which I know was giving me good readings before oil pressure sensor. So now that's back in, and I also did add a shim to the back of the oil pump. I'm gonna try my best to take this to the dyno. Another thing was, if you guys watch any of my other videos, you would have seen that the intake gets sucked in, goes like that. So I decided to try to combat that. So I drilled 3 holes, and then I put some tube down through. So you'll see it up in here. They're just little bung holes. So it's just a aluminum tube going through to act as a brace. I want to see if that cures it. And then right now, you can see I've started cutting this fender. I was trying to add this into the video too, but nothing seems to be coming out right. So I have this fuel tank right here, this fuel cell. This is made for a Mark III, and I figured it would just bolt up, but it doesn't. Nothing fits right. So, and then another buddy gave me a 1.5 gallon Jazzy cell, but the ports on that make it super weird, and it's not ideal. So I'm trying to put everything right here. So obviously the only way to do this is I'm gonna have to make it. So hopefully that'll be the next video. I have to go get a whole bunch of aluminum, and I'll try to program it out. And the idea is to get a good cut to where I can put it in the brake, bend it, and then it'll only have a few welds instead of every piece being welded. And also, being that I'll be making it to how I want it, I can cut out a little more of this, and I can add the fill tank up to here. And instead of doing those vented gas caps, I just don't like those. I'm gonna be adding a port on top, and then I'm just gonna loop it with a rollover valve and throw it down where the original lines would go, and then put it out underneath the car. I feel like if anything leaks out under the car, it'll go behind the tire. I'm gonna have it come all the way down. I'm gonna use the Mark IV Teflon OEM hoses, and so it's gonna come all the way down, and it's gonna exit like dead in the middle, so there will be no way that it would hit my rear tires and cause an issue. So it's a lot to do. Street Wars got canceled this week. Obviously I wasn't ready. I'm gonna try for next week. The freaking windshield, that's another issue all on its own. I cannot find a Mark II windshield anywhere. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you guys. See you next time.